I'm Clark Schuler, and I served in the Air National Guard, a reserve component of the Air Force. I served, well, it's a long story. I was commissioned into Army ROTC and changed services in 1983 because I thought flying would be fun, and I was right. Well, in 1987, following my accident, Service Officer Mike Hogue came to visit me in the hospital. I had no idea that I was entitled to any kind of benefit because I wasn't on active duty. I was on active duty for training, and it's not the same thing. So I wasn't aware that even though my injury was in the line of duty, that I was entitled to any benefits. And because of meeting Mike Hogue and getting involved with him, I got involved with the chapter, and since that time I think I've held every elected office that you can here. I've been involved for over 25 years. Well, I'd like to thank them for their service, of course. I know when I was in 1990, the times were quite flush, and we had everything we needed, and what I read now, they're having to do more with less, and I just would hope that they're able to complete their mission safely and come home.
My name's Joe Schaefer. I was in the Army, the 498th Medevac unit. I basically did stateside missions. We did Hurricane Katrina relief, disaster relief, and Hurricane Rita. We did rescue, and we did body recovery. My position at the MPVA is a veteran service officer. I really enjoy working with the veterans, helping them get their benefits, and I really enjoy working with the most catastrophically injured veterans. On Veterans Day, when I was younger, I never looked at it as anything other than just a holiday, another day off, another day to get together with friends. But since being in the service, I really take the time to think about my fellow veterans and what they've given and what they're still giving overseas and here at home. In the future, I'd like to see VSOs and the VA working together better to streamline the process and to get the veterans their benefits quicker.
Michael Harris, served in the United States Marine Corps from 1975 to 79. Well, it's interesting. When I joined MPVA back in 95, I attended a membership meeting. I really joined after my injury in 86. The thing that surprised me about MPVA, and it's really what separates us from the other veteran service organization, is our advocacy, because our members are dependent on the use of a wheelchair for mobility purposes. It places an importance for our members, so it's really a quality of life issue for them. And so I've been that's what really sold me on the organization, was the advocacy, and it allowed me the opportunity to play a role and have some input and hopefully, make a difference not only for our members but for the disability community as a whole. The advocacy issues that really I think have had the most profound impact for our memberships is the U of M lawsuit. It was I had worked on that really, and the organization had worked on that for really probably 15 years before we filed our lawsuit in 06. And whenever we file a lawsuit, it really isn't about financial gain, it's more about outcomes, getting the desired outcomes. And so when we filed the lawsuit, it really, because the issue was over construction and what they called renovation in terms of defining it. And we were able to get some clarity and also get really a settlement that allowed people with disabilities to have more access into the stadium. They went from like 60 wheelchair locations to 350. And and the other issue I would say I'd be most proud of would be the issue regarding curb cuts. We have sued communities in federal court, unfortunately, because there was a disagreement in the interpretation of what the federal and state requirements required for curb cuts. And so we had successful outcomes in terms where the city, like Detroit, had to reduce 60,000 of their curb cuts in order to be in compliance. And so the goal going into it was twofold. One was to get compliance in the communities that we filed complaints against, but also to use those as learning tools so other communities could then learn from the mistakes that those communities made and not repeat those mistakes. The message I'd like to share with my fellow vets, first of all, is to thank them for their service. We have a tendency, we celebrate Veterans Day, and unfortunately people see it just as a day off from work. As an organization, we celebrate Veterans Day every day. So we see it as a way to take time out of our busy schedules and thank veterans for a job well done. And the importance going forward, with veterans are they're surviving injuries they've never survived before in war. And so it places a more responsibility on veteran service organizations like ours to make sure that we're there for them. Well, the one exciting bit of news is that I'm now the Government Relations Director again, so I'm looking forward to the opportunity to really address the issue why I joined PVA in the first place back in 1996, which was the handicap parking issue. It really hasn't been resolved to my satisfaction, and I still think there's room for improvement in that area. It's mostly going to be education, and it's working with other disability organizations and legislature to try to come up with solutions that can have a positive impact.